Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Tonight we have a very special guest, Lance. And tonight's episode we will be talking about the difference between Philippines and USA based on my experience. And he'll be the one asking me about situation and I will be the one reacting of how did I experience it comparing two countries. Okay, here we go.
All right. The first question is, what is the first thing that you noticed when you got here to the country 18 years ago?
When I first landed here in US, I was very surprised because I saw a lot of empty spaces. Unlike in the Philippines that there is houses everywhere. Like it's very crowded. It's very seldom to see an empty space. And also there's a lot of farm. That's it. Oh, also the trees during that time was looking like dead. So my first impression was the trees, were dead. But I didn't know it was just hibernating because of the different kinds of season.
Do you mind if I explain this? Because
okay,
I feel like this is going to need a lot of explanation.
Okay.
People are like, what the heck is she talking about?
All right.
Okay, she came here in the fall, all right, in the autumn.
No,
For those...
March. Spring.
Okay, all right, whatever. She came here when the leaves weren't on the trees. You know, the spring hasn't sprung, and all the trees were in hibernation and stuff. You make it sound like a nuclear holocaust the way you're talking about it. But apparently, with the benefit of having known her for a year, now I know what she's talking about, and I might be able to help translate for those of you out there going, what the hell is she talking about? She's talking about the trees before spring. We have leaves, as you know, around here, or trees rather, that are evergreens, that are green all year round. And of course, hardwoods, things like that, all the leaves fall off, so they just look dead. She's never seen that before. And so this is freaking her out. This is what she tells me. Also, I've noticed, I've asked her this question, what's the difference? She says, oh, there's so many people everywhere in the Philippines. Like I can't drive down I-65 now without looking at the median, in the middle of the road. Like in the middle of the highway, the part with a little bit of grass in it, or off to the side, without seeing 16 Filipino families in my mind, living in a U-Haul or storage shed or something like that. Because she said, oh, that would make a good Filipino home. I'm like, this is a metal box. This is a Connex. She goes, oh, this is how Filipinos live. This is how they do it. So every time I see an extra square foot of space, I've seen videos on this too. I imagine there's like 6 Filipino families living happily in that tiny little space, which would shock, American sensibilities, especially Southern, because we have wide open spaces. So I think that's what, is that about right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for
I don't know what that zombie stuff you were talking about was, but yeah. All right, let's continue. It's okay. All right. You said you also noticed a difference in traffic.
Oh yes, because traffic in the Philippines is really, really, really bad. Everywhere you go, it's like there is no tomorrow. Like you won't get there today. So I feel like the traffic over here, where I can see that it's kind of traffic, but it's not really compared to the Philippines. So I feel like Philippines, traffic is worse, really worse than here.
This explains a lot because I've ridden with you in a car before. How much turn signal I need to cross 5 lane? None? Okay, good luck everybody else. You've obviously, it's like that here in the South. Okay, but, you know, in other places, it's busier traffic. You know, any major metropolis, larger city, it's going to be busier. But maybe, you know, maybe it's just completely wrong in the Philippines. They're just going willy-nilly. I've seen videos, people literally building a house on the sidewalk in the middle of a major thoroughfare.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, that threw me for a loop. All right, let me ask you a question. What was the difference? What was going to the grocery store for the first time? Tell me how that experience was for you.
Oh boy. I was surprised because of the price difference. So
wait a minute, the price difference?
Because
you're talking about like smoked fermented fish and I don't know, shrimp eyeballs and all this stuff, unusual food combinations you eat, ketchup on ice cream or something. I don't really know. The variety didn't impress you, a food that we have?
Yeah, it does. But the very first thing is the price. Because
it beats the hell out of catfish tongue, doesn't it?
Because I'm
exaggerating, of course.
We always think about, you know, like, oh, this is like $1.75. So like, we always think about it like, okay, let's calculate how much is it gonna be on pesos, Philippine pesos. So we always think about that when we're just newly, you know, arrived here in the U.S. But on the other side, when it comes to like variety of food, oh my gosh, so much variety over here, so much food to choose that you're not gonna be able to make a decision which one you're gonna get. And a lot of food, you know, to eat.
Well, I think I've got you figured out on this. I noticed that you make shopping decisions and food decisions based on the length of the title, the description of the food. You have 2 bottles to say we go to Walmart. You have 2 bottles right next to each other. You have ketchup, just regular store brand ketchup. You know, tomatoes, vinegar, salt, whatever they put in there. And then you have ketchup, but it's super brand ketchup. Super brand American Cowboy USA #1 hot dog rocket ship. But it's the same product. You were going to get the one with the longest name every single time. Hot dog rocket ship ketchup.
Because it has more, you know, like a catchy name, I guess. I think that's what it gets to the consumer, you know, because of the catchy name. Not based because of the, like, look. I don't know. Mine, I guess, is like the name.
It's just marketing. You just like big. It must be extra. It's got more names in it. Okay, I've seen a lot of videos about the Philippines and how you go shopping there. And remember, you told me about those shops that you go to. They have those clothes. I think they're all secondhand. I'm not really sure. Or they're unsold items. But they're usually from Asia, somewhere like China or Vietnam or something, where all the clothing items are.
Oh, you mean the okay?
Yeah, that. What's it called again?
Okay. Meaning, like, you have
to... what's it called, okay?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, because you
have... Okay.
Yeah, instead of saying okay, we are saying okay. So...
Okay.
Because you have to dig from the bottom. You gotta keep digging it.
Yeah,
and, you know,
the digging place, right?
Yes, until you find, you know, that treasure that make you say, wow.
I saw that on the Filipino Peas channel, which, by the way, if you're into Filipino content, go subscribe to her. She's pretty awesome. She told me all of Maribel's secrets. All of them.
No, all of the Filipino secrets, not just me.
She prepared me for you. Okay. So, what about the lack of bargaining here?
Oh, yeah.
The bartering.
Yeah, that's the thing also that kind of miss in the Philippines, because every time you go somewhere, as long as you're not going to the mall, then, you know, you can bargain the price. But over here, there's nothing really such bargaining here. It doesn't work over here.
Actually, if you use Facebook Marketplace and things like that, you can bargain.
Oh.
Like usually with used cars and used items, stuff like with with a particular individual, individual sales and stuff. Yeah, like going to stores, you don't. Like you go to a thrift store, you can dig all you want. If it's 75 cents, it's 75 cents.
Yeah, no bargaining.
Yeah, that's it. They'll tell you to get lost. All right. What was it like learning how to drive here in the U.S.? Because you didn't drive in the Philippines, did you? Good luck, everybody else.
We grew up, depends on the public transportation. All Filipinos knows about this, that, you know, we only depends on public transportation and we don't have to worry about learning how to drive. So when I got here, I was already 26 or 27, and I didn't know how to ride a bicycle. So I went to a driving school, and then my driving instructor was telling me, Maribel, do you know how to ride a bicycle? I said, no. And he said, oh, okay, no wonder why. I was wondering what is really he meant it, but I guess because the way when I stared at the steering wheel is like, you know, I haven't been stared a hold a steering wheel before, so I guess that's what it is. But
I got news for you, Maribel.
What is it?
There's no steering wheel on a bike either.
But I guess the way you are turning it, like when you're going to, you know, I guess it was really stiff when I was trying to, you know, learn. But he didn't told me why he was asking me about it.
Well, for all of those who know us personally, I just want to say, if you see Maribel and I driving down the road and she's in the driver's seat, just jump in the ditch.
Hey,
run for your life.
Hey, I've been driving for a little while. Come on now.
Go ahead and say it. Good luck.
Good luck, everybody else. You know, Filipino drivers.
Oh, man. You know, you might not know this because, and this will go on to our next topic because, you know, the United States is vastly larger than most people in the rest of the world think. They think, oh, I'm going to go to New York City. And they think, hey, can we go to Florida, Miami Beach tomorrow? And then we're going to go to Las Vegas on day 3. Not understanding it takes a week to get to all 3 of those places driving. So you've only been in a few places in the U.S., like what, Indiana, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, which is the best, by the way. But it may not surprise you, or it may surprise you to know, but there are a lot of people, millions of people, who live in the United States who rely on public transportation. You know, like there are people in New York City right now that have never owned a car, have never learned how to drive. Gilbert Gottfried never learned how to drive.
Wow.
The famous comedian, you know, stuff like that. But most of the rest of us, if you don't drive, you don't eat. Seriously, like you can't, you know, I lived in Europe for a while, so I know what it's like, you know, in my apartment. I could go downstairs for breakfast, go across the street to the butcher, get something to eat, go to the guy who sold vegetables, go to the baker. You know, it's all on the same street. It's literally on Market Street. Get everything I need to survive for that day. So you just have
to walk?
Yeah, you just walk everywhere.
Oh, wow.
If I want to go to another town, I just call a train. You know, that kind of thing. So I can understand where you're coming from. But here in, you know, most of the United States, if you don't have a car, you starve. You're not going to get a job. And I think your audience could tell that neither one of us are starving. She's been teaching me Bisaya. And
I'm sorry.
The word tambuk keeps coming out of her mouth when she looks at me.
Oh.
That's good. That's a new thing. How does it go? Tambuk, Kajan?
Tambuk, yeah.
What was the other one? Kajan?
Kajan is like, you know.
Means indeed, right?
Yeah, I kind of like a mixture of Tagalog. Jan is like a Tagalog thing. But yeah, he knows a little bit Bisaya now, so.
Yeah. Tambuk.
Ikaw.
Ikaw tambuk Kajan. Buang Kajan. Anyway, so there's that. So yeah, this goes on. I guess we combine both of those into one thing. You know, you have to drive, and if you're not in the United States, you absolutely have to. Because what do you think? How far away is the nearest grocery store? Like if you wanted to get the ingredients to make a sandwich right now and you had to go buy it, how far would you have to walk?
Oh boy. No, I ain't gonna.
And you're living in the middle of town, so to speak.
That's still scary to walk because
I mean, I could do it. I like eating.
Because the traffic over there at 45 bypass is really, you know. So I'll be scared.
Well, that's. But how far is it?
I don't know. I'm not, you know, good in estimating how many miles.
Well, I mean, it's how long do you think it would take you to walk it? Point is, it's a long ass way. Okay, it's a long way. You're gonna need a car.
Yes.
You are going to need a car.
Yep.
All right. Not only do we have a good variety of food, there's plenty of it. Yeah. Did the portions here in the restaurant surprise you when you first got here? I know they don't now. Neither one of us. We're both enjoying it, but did the portions of food surprise you?
Oh yes, like when they serve it to you, we're like, oh, look, like this is like good for 2 person. So I was like, yeah.
Well, you know, there's something about your food, a couple of things about your food that surprised me too.
What is it?
Rice. I like rice. You know, it's like any other person. Rice is good. But you really I think you love rice. You have a love affair with rice. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Rice, rice, rice.
Well, that's the Filipinos' most, you know, love food is rice. Everything is all about rice. For the love of rice, yes.
Yeah, I understand it's the main staple of a lot of Asian people. But do you remember what I told you about us? What our main staple is? Our starch.
Yeah,
staple. Potatoes.
Yes.
I was in the Army for a long time, and potatoes were served 3 times a day, 3 meals a day. All right. So, you know, I can understand that. It's not so far. All right, the next one. I don't know what this says. Filipino something or other. We'll just move them right along, edit that out. All right. All right, society living. What can you tell me about that?
Oh.
Like how we live here. As far as spacing goes. Now, in my point of view, Maribel has entirely too many neighbors that are entirely too close. This kind of goes into the, hey, you know, 15 families can live in this highway median here. But, you know, I came to her house for the first time. And she's in a townhome and live for some reason. You know me, I have a backyard that dogs can run around in and stuff. And she's like, oh, look at all this space. And I literally feel like the neighbor. Every time they put on deodorant, I could smell it. You know, not really, but, you know, I can hear what's-his-name clipping his toenails over there right now.
No, not really.
Not really, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I can hear when he flushes the toilet.
Oh, not really either.
Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration too. But still. Oh, that's another word, tahi. You tell me that one. Okay.
Well, the thing is, Filipino people, you know, we are used to close neighborhoods and everybody's close to everybody. So when you wake up in the morning, you will see your neighbor right away. You can talk to them and, you know, do the marites thing. You know what does that mean?
No, tell me.
The marites thing is you know, people you know, talk about neighbors and chismis.
That brings us to another point. Chismis and chismosas and chismosos.
Yes.
That's another word that I learned.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them or?
What is it?
People here do not care.
That's true.
Did that surprise you? Go ahead and tell them.
Yes, because they want to live their own life. They don't care what happened or whatsoever.
Yeah, for the most part, Americans don't care what you do. We don't care. Hey. You know what? Go lick a squirrel's butt. We don't care. You know, if you make a scandal out in public, oh, that's a crazy person. He's wrong or whatever. But who the neighbor brings home or who's with who and who does this and who, all this gossiping like a bunch of bitty hens, that kind of stuff, it just doesn't really happen.
That's true.
Do you think I don't know where your neighbors are right now. I don't know the Karens across the street. I don't know who they're sleeping with, and I don't care. You know, we're worried about our own selves.
Yeah.
You're pretty accepting like that.
That's one of the things that I love over here, that people, you know, doesn't care what you're doing and who you are with, or, you know, you don't have to worry about chismes, marites. No, not at all.
Mata who?
Marites.
What is marites? I've seen that word 3 times today. What is it? What is marites?
That's the one I told you. People.
I was like, what is Maurice? What is it?
Marites. M-A-R-I-T-E-S.
What is it though?
It's like the people who do the gossip and, you know, talk about behind, you know, other people's back.
I thought that was chismosa.
But they're making another term for that.
Okay. All right. All right. We have on here, age doesn't matter. What does that mean?
Age doesn't matter, meaning like.
What?
Or like when you apply a job.
Oh,
over here in US,
age discrimination.
Yes, there's no such, you know, like age limit. Unlike in the Philippines, that there's a whole bunch of, you know, discrimination, like your height. It has to be, you know, 5 and something or whatever, and also it has to be like pleasing personality. It has to be like, I mean, a whole bunch of, you know, requirements. But over here, you know, as long as you're still capable to work and you are willing to work, they will hire you.
You don't have to be 21, female.
Even if you're 70 years old, you are still going to be hired.
There is some age discrimination when you get older. But from what I understand, in the Philippines, you have to be a 21-year-old girl to get with a damn doctorate to get a job working at McDonald's. That's how fiercely competitive it is there.
Yeah.
All right. I noticed that you have here no man stealing.
Oh.
I don't think that's right. You've obviously never seen an episode of Jerry Springer or Maury Povich or even Judge Judy. Yeah, there's lots of man stealing over here. What do you mean?
You know what? That's the thing, though. I know I wrote that pointers over there, but I forgot what that means.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Memory stealing or idea stealing. All right. Let me ask you your experience. What is the difference between finding a man here in the United States and finding one in the Philippines? Now, I know you told me, oh, that's my neighbor. I used to date my neighbor. And it turns out you have like 3,000 neighbors, a lot of whom you've dated. Whatever.
Oh my God.
It's like, I didn't know you were neighbors with the entirety of Cebu Island.
Mahal, you got me busted with that. It's not that I have a relationship with all of my neighbors. I mean, some of my neighbors, you know, I end up having a relationship, but...
If we were to do a census in Kanhulao, and I said, hey, all of you guys in one room, or, you know, one place, raise your hand if you've ever dated Maribel. How many hands would I see?
Oh my goodness. No, we're not gonna talk about that, because that's why when I was young, it was just all puppy love, and that was just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm as pure as the wind-driven snow. I've been married before one time, but we were married for 2 years before I even kissed her on the cheek. So, what's the difference between finding a man there? Apparently, all they got to do is move in next to you in the Philippines, and you give them a date.
You mean
dated
like,
so many neighbors? I've heard that so many times from you.
Like, you mean like dating a Filipino man in the Philippines?
Yeah, I'm just kidding with you. Yeah.
Comparing.
No, like finding a man and getting a boyfriend.
I mean, well, it's very easy because, I mean, not really very easy, but the thing is, because the communication are the same, so it'll be easier and faster compared to if you wanna, you know, get an afam. A cano, okay? It's a little different because, you know, you have to speak English, and, you know, you have to make sure that you can pronounce, you know, such thing that understandable in your part. So, yeah.
All right, well, that's all the questions that we've, all the topics that we have right now, but if you don't mind, I would like to end with a tongue twister. Speaking of the language, as an AFAM couple, because, I'm a
You're
maldita Cano and you're a maldita Pinay. And, but we're going to try this so repeat after me. The nurse.
The nurse.
Went to church.
Went to church.
Then took the sheets to the beach.
Then took the sheets to the beach.
Mahal.
Oh.
She took what?
The sheets.
Your mom is watching this.
He was the one who's making me say it. Blame it on him.
What was that? You couldn't today? We were in Walmart.
I forgot what was it?
I don't know.
Anyway, guys, thank you for watching tonight. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. And if you like us to do some, a different topic in the future, you can please comment down below. And thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.